Welcome to the Bloomberg, the total investment management tool, which lets you perform a vast array of analytical functions at the touch of a key.
So far in class, we haven't been directly using the hardware for our Bloomberg terminals, and the keyboard plays a big part in the functionality of the terminal experience. So what you're seeing now is the current design for the Bloomberg keyboard. It has a pretty familiar layout to keyboards you've used in the past, but it has a few color-coded keys to look out for. Generally, the red keys are stop or cancel keys. The green keys are mostly quick functions like for looking at the news or doing price quotes and stuff like that. Yellow keys are for asset keys, and they direct you to information on specific industries. F2 is for government bonds and securities. F3 is for corporate bonds. F4 is for mortgage securities. F5 is for the money market. F6 is for municipal bonds. F7 is for preferred shares. F8 is for equities. F9 is for commodities. F10 is for indexes. F11 is for currencies. And F12 is for your portfolio and risk management. So one of the more useful functions for you to play around with is probably the world equity indices. This will show you the performances of different exchanges from around the world. The index most of us are probably familiar with is the S&P 500. Basically, this is a collection of the 500 largest publicly traded companies on American stock exchanges. It's an index weighted by market caps, so movement from bigger companies tend to have more weight on the index's overall movement. Looking at the world equity indices is important to get a feel of the overall performance of the global economy, and also it's good to look at what comprises individual exchanges. So if you're looking at trading individual shares of a company, a good place to start is with the most function. This shows the most active securities for today, and you can see the activity by volume or percentage change up or down. When I'm watching this list and I'm looking for companies to invest in, I try to stick with larger market cap companies because I tend to be more familiar with them, and I usually only put my money in companies I'm familiar with. So you can also look at the pre-market data. The stock market opens at like 3:30 a.m. our time, but if you want, you can use this to get ahead of the market. I recorded this in the afternoon, so the pre-market data is already collected. And if some of this still looks like gibberish to you and you want to analyze companies you're familiar with, or you're just trying to branch out to other industries, you can click on an individual security and you'll see a list of functions you can run for this particular security. So I'm going to stick with Apple because I think it's a company we're all familiar with, and you can see they have a brief overview to learn more about them. I'm not going to go over that. They also have their performance data in the GP function, and you can see this is just showing their performance for the past year, 6 months, and 1 month. And you can see at the bottom, the bar chart, this is showing the amount of volume for this security for that particular moment. And if you head back in the security description, you can also see they have earnings estimates. These are just averages of estimates from investment bankers about the future of this particular security. And you can see their buy, hold, and sell rating. So Apple has a pretty good outlook according to analysts. And you can also see their earnings trends and their expected earnings. And in the top left, you can see their next earnings call, when that's scheduled to be. But if you guys are new to the Bloomberg terminals, these are some of the more useful features for you to play around with. I think they can help you narrow the scope of companies you want to invest in. But in the end, I can only give you the tools to search for what you need. So I encourage you guys to play around with this, and hopefully you guys don't lose a lot of money.